why should I read your book? Uh, I would tell them that your life depends on my book. That right now you look healthy and wonderful, and God bless you. I hope you stay that way for the rest of your life, but you're not going to. And you're going to want the best available products and devices that can advance your health. And if we don't do something about the system we have now, you won't have that available to you. So I would say to a person, your life depends on my book. I think everybody should read the book, and I don't mean that to be funny. I certainly wrote the book for a lay audience. I think anyone who's interested in a compelling business narrative, or who's interested in a narrative that discusses policy changes in government and in companies and in financing, would be very interested in it. I also think, of course, if you're in the medical profession or in the finance community, you will very much be intrigued and brought into this book, because I get into several dramas, my last couple of companies, and I think people would get the impression this is more of a novel than it is a business narrative. So virtually everyone in the country is affected by FDA, either indirectly or directly, because the FDA governs what breakthrough products are available to them when they need them. My favorite story is told in two parts. When I was doing a radio talk show, a caller made the point that she had visited two doctors, very worried about a brown spot on her skin, and both doctors told her not to worry about it. A year later, when she went back, it had grown quite a bit, and it was now an advanced melanoma. And this woman was now taking very toxic drugs to try to help treat it. So fast forward a year after we got the melanoma diagnostic on the product, the dermatologist told me about a flight attendant that told her about a patient who went to 3 different doctors pointing out a brown spot on her body. And the third doctor admitted he didn't know what it was and used the product we developed on it. And the result made the doctor perform a biopsy, and they detected a melanoma at its earliest stages. So those two stories together point out exactly why we did what we did and why it was all worthwhile. I think a medical entrepreneur who reads this book would walk away with the two most important pieces of advice. Number one, avail yourself to the absolute best regulatory counsel you can afford, and use that counsel in every step along the way, and bring counsel to every meeting with FDA. The second would be, this is such a costly endeavor, and it's tempting to think you have enough money to reach a finish line. And what happens is the finish line keeps getting moved. So I would advise all medical entrepreneurs to raise much more money than they think they need to get to the finish line. Well, I'm a physician as well as a businessman. I've been involved in developing breakthrough products that can really help patients for the last 25 years. In fact, I have an antibody for prostate cancer approved, a drug for bladder cancer, and a device to detect melanoma at its curable stage is approved. I also teach cancer biology, and I run a teaching blog on cancer biology. I've raised over $200 million to advance the efforts of those products that I've developed as well.